What's going on today, guys? We're back with day 11. I know it's probably been a week at this point since I posted a video, and I'm sorry about that. Last week I was a little busy with school. I didn't trade super good. Past few days I just haven't felt good. Kind of a culmination of things. No excuse not to be posting videos for you guys. I feel bad. That kind of just disappeared without any explanation. But we're back, and we're not going to do that again. That was kind of just lazy of me. That's all that it was when it gets down to it. It was lazy. So I apologize. But here we are today. We had one winner and one loser. 352, 353, yeah. Um, Felt like I took two good trades. I'm not mad about the loser. I'm really happy about the winner. You guys will see. It was a good trade. Could have executed a little bit better, but we'll get into it. We have a lot to talk about. Working on this new thing, once 7 o'clock hits, you start to look for these relative equal highs and relative equal lows. It's a new concept I'm learning. I've got it marked out. Hopefully you guys will be able to see pretty good. That's relative equal high, and this becomes a relative equal low. You can see one over here. We'll get there. But after 7 o'clock, you start to look for the market to form these areas where it would technically be about right there, a low, and then not quite getting there, but really near it, a flat area, basically a smooth area. And you can see, you might be more familiar with like a range. It's going to look like a range that's not getting broken out of. And those become areas that the market wants to seek out and try and find. So we originally see it take out the relative equal high here at 8:45 that we formed all the way back here at 7:30. And when you see that happen, it gives you a bias. You know it's going to go to this relative equal low at one point or another. And you can see it do that right off open. 1 minute chart will be a little bit easier to see for you guys. Right off open, it does that on 9:30. It comes and manipulates back up into this high first, right here, that we took out right here, you can see, and then goes into this low. And then it comes back up and makes a new high, more manipulation, and it forms another relative equal low. And this one, anything past 9:30 once we've opened, when it forms a low like that, that's a good sign. That's usually where the market's going to be moving towards for the real move. You know, once 9:30 hits, you start to get some good volume stepping in, some good price action. And this is, once again, you can see to this upside, it's manipulation. And the reason I don't say this is a relative equal high, and I don't say that it's targeting this, is because we never get a change in the state of delivery. And when I say that, just think of market structure shift. Like, this becomes the point that we'd have to close above to get a market structure shift. Or even this, really. And once this wicks, it becomes this high. And you can see we close above it twice here, but we instantly reclaim both times. And that kind of shows you that once you get up above this high, the buying pressure, if you will, is getting exhausted. And that kind of confirms your bias for puts. So I'm seeing this not being able to get a lot of strength going up above this and towards all-time highs again. I have a bias for puts. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to play. And I got a little giddy on this one right here. Like you can see, I had a fair value gap, and then I had an inversion gap that was what I was looking for. I thought it got a nice test, and I wasn't mad about it. I got out on a close up here it was about a 19, 17 point loss. Yeah, that was about 300, give or take. And I just stayed patient. I knew that it was still a pretty good trade, even though it didn't play out. And I'm going to switch over to NQ now to show you the price action for this one, because I think it looks just a little bit cleaner. It held the areas a little bit nicer. It's more of what I would want to see out of this. So this ends up being a relative equal high because it's high probability when this second high is lower than this first high. And this ends up being one, but it's not formed until we start to move to the downside. So we get our change in the state of delivery right here. Once this candle low is closed through, this becomes our change in the state of delivery, this candle right here. And at the same time, it's also forming what we call a SIBI. Now, I know that's like weird, like that's just a fair value gap, right? Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Don't think of anything different if this is too weird for you to think about, but it's a sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So what that's telling you is that there's a lot of selling that's stepped in right here. I know I don't have volume on, but if I turned it on, I'm sure this would be a high volume candle. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. High volume candle followed up by, I mean, relatively high volume, but a high volume candle led into it. And you can tell that there's a lot of selling that stepped in from this candle into this candle to form this fair value area. So that means that there's a lot of sell orders that didn't get filled in here even though they were placed. So that's why it's a sell side imbalance. It would be a buy side inefficiency because anybody wanting to go long would be inefficient for them to get in right here until they see this area broken through. And that's why I say over here on MNQ, you actually get it opens up above it. And on NQ, it doesn't. And NQ's price action is what I was watching. And an interesting thing to note about these SIBIs, and like if it was a bullish one and we were playing calls, it would be a BISI. It would just be switched buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Anytime you see one of these areas, you want to see something else inside of it, and more times than not, it's going to be an inversion fair value gap. And you can see on this one, it's same place basically. And you want to see it touched. When you see that touched and the actual fair value gap that we have marked as the SIBI is not broken, you're understanding that orders are getting filled there. Sellers are stepping in even heavier this time. So let's go look at this volume again. You can see it picks right back up for a big candle down. Sorry. And you can tell that the market's ready to start to move down and get a real move. And the confluence that really got me in here, because this isn't the most favorable price action, I would ideally like to see it hold that inversion gap. But what really got me in was this being a cross down. Like that's perfect price action for me personally to get in. And that's where I get in on this candle right here. And I'll move back over to MNQ for you guys now. You can see us get in. I know it says this candle, but it's really this candle that we get in on that confirms our downside. And I mean, I'm confident enough that I can just have stops placed above this high after I see this candle confirm us to the downside. And originally, I'm targeting this for my first trim. It's 40 points off. I have no problem with it because I really think we're going to get there, but I kind of get chopped up here a little bit. And I'm in this trade for quite a while before I even get my first trim down here for 20 points. It's probably, let's see, about 20 minutes that I'm in it. So I get a little nervous and I move a trim to 20 points for half my position. Now, if I'd been 3 minutes more patient, I would have picked up 20 more points. But I'm not dwelling on that. I'm happy with the trade. I take 3 off where my first trim was originally going to be for 40 points. I take 1 more off for 60 points right here at yesterday's high. And then I take my final runner off here for 100 points today. And that really brings the day back around to 353. I know some of that price action stuff is still a little unclear, and I could have probably stated it a little bit better, but I'm still learning it myself. I was happy to see it put into action really quickly today on a day that was kind of tough price action. Like, if I'd just been looking at the cross, I wouldn't have been too excited about today. Like, there's not a lot of areas like these 3 off open. That usually tells me I need to wait till 10:15, and that would have been right here, and it would have almost been too late for me to really get in on this cross. So being able to read price and see what it's doing, see where it wants to target and seek out, is really helping me start to understand what crosses to take, what crosses not to take. There's still error involved, still some trial and error, but I'm getting better and I'm seeing price better. And I'm hoping I'm able to relay some of this information to you guys, and it's being put to use and it's beneficial for anybody who's out here watching. As always, if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow.